talking about how to leverage AI conversation in your CRM. And I am joined today by Nate Joens, who is the co-founder and head of innovation at Structurally. Welcome, Nate.
Hello, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for being here. I just think that this is, from a person that, my background is in technology. I love tech, and talking about an AI is that thing that a lot of people in technology and technology space are talking about right now. It's a great, just a great feature that we've added into Wise Agents. And I know that this is going to be really helpful and beneficial for a lot of people to be leveraging artificial intelligence, that's what AI stands for, into their business and into their CRM, so they can really get those conversations and get those relationships being built. So I'm excited for this. So can you tell us a little bit about what you do at Structurally and
Yeah, absolutely. Structurally, we're very excited to be partnered with Wise Agent for the release of the AI inside the platform. We've been kind of around the block a few times where this is what we do. We have conversational AI that manages, nurtures, engages, and follows up with real estate leads. So whether they're new leads just coming in from Facebook or your sources, or old leads that haven't heard from you in quite a while, that's kind of our bread and butter. And now pairing it with all the power that Wise Agent has with lead routing, campaign management, lead management just as a whole, and team management, it just brings the beauty of the platforms together. Because the last thing that I think that I'm most excited about here as a takeaway is the last thing everyone here wants to think about is yet another tool, yet another login, yet something else to learn. You don't have to do that with this. You already know Wise Agent. You already use Wise Agent every day. Now we're bringing yet another feature that pretty much just kind of works for you in the background. And should make your life that much noticeably better without having to learn something new. So really excited to dive into that with you today.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I think that's the beauty of this is, and the beauty of technology really is to help you really live your best life ever, and you can do that if you leverage technology. So you're not sitting there, having to respond to every text message. And it takes a lot to build relationships in business. It's not like you can just meet somebody and go walk up to them and say, "Hi, I'm a realtor. Are you looking to buy or sell your home?" And then just expect them to say yes and then carry on with the transaction. There's a lot more that goes into that, between that hi and then the how are you part. There's a lot that has to be built there. And this, the functionality that we've that Structurally created and we've embedded into Wise Agent, I think is one of the things that I'm super excited about, because that's a really hard thing for a lot of people to kind of get over, is starting to build that relationship. It can be a little intimidating. What do I say? I don't know. And, so the beauty of this, this bot is really kind of, you don't have to put yourself out there in fear of rejection. That's what the bot is for, and its feelings won't get hurt. So,
yeah,
so that's a nice thing.
I think a recurring theme too here is feelings and emotion. There's a lot of emotion in home buying and selling, obviously, and getting a mortgage. And we realize that. So one of the huge takeaways here too, I hope everyone's listening, is this isn't just your regular run-of-the-mill bot. This is a empathetic, human-like AI that has conversations that build rapport. It asks for leads motivations. It empathizes with people going through a divorce or a death, or says congrats on a new job, or thanks veterans for their service. Everything in between, you'll see very human-like conversations, because we realize that your leads are extremely valuable. You've done a lot of work either in your brand, lead generation, buying leads. You've done a lot of work to get leads.
Yeah.
The last thing that we want you to do is forget about your leads, which, we could all use more work in our lead follow-up. That's what the AI is here to do. but we also don't want to just sick a bad AI experience on your leads just to say you've talked to them. And that's not at all what this AI does. It is an extension of an inside sales agent. If you don't have an inside sales agent, it's an extension of yourself. So like Eleni said, if you're out for dinner and you see a lead come through, you don't have to worry about it. You can enjoy your dinner and let your AI respond for you.
Yeah, and I love that. And exactly what you said. I mean, it is empathetic. I've used it. I'm currently using it. So we're going to go through today's webinar. We're actually going to go through and demo it live. So you all know how it goes when we go live. So hopefully everything runs smoothly, but I've already started the conversation. About 5 minutes ago, I started the conversation, and we're going to get into that. But before we jump into that demo portion of it, because I do want, and the reason why we're going to do the demo portion of it, because I want you all to see like how it starts off, how the conversation can go, and see how smoothly things can turn, and then get you as the agent will get notified, like, all right, now the lead is ready to have a real life conversation with you, and you'll get notified of that through Wise Agent. So you can know okay, now it's my turn. Now I got to pick up the phone, and now I have to do the human part. So that's going to all be demoed today. But before we get started on that, one of the things, Nate, maybe you can share with us is a little bit of, some statistics. I know there's a lot of things out there that talk about relationship building. I mean, I talk about it on the webinar series quite a bit, and how it can be challenging to do that. But then also, when you buy leads, or when you're acquiring leads, some way, shape, form, or another, right? If you're buying them, they come in, organically. How many people are responding to those and following up with them? That's really the key portion of everything.
Yeah, so I can definitely help kind of set the stage for the demo here. I'll share my screen quick with a few stats. Can you see this here?
Yes.
So
yeah.
just as I'll go through the stats here in a second, but just to level set kind of with where we're at, following up with leads is hard. Just to give you some thought, like get you in the right mindset here. Follow-up compounds exponentially. The more leads you get, which we'll go through statistically, the more follow-ups they require. And as that continues to happen, your lead follow-up literally grows exponentially, and conversion can just feel the same. You can get this many more leads, which means this many more follow-ups, which just turns out to be thousands of follow-ups per team member at all times. You probably feel this pain right now. You're probably constantly in the middle of hundreds, possibly, of text or email conversations with your leads at all sorts of different phases in their buying or selling journey. So just level setting with where we're at, this is what Structurally and Wise Agent solves. It solves the long-term follow-up. It nurtures leads for up to a year. It solves the speed to lead problem, 24/7, 365 availability, responses in under 2 minutes. It actually has the back and forth two-way qualifying conversations. So a little bit about that long-term follow-up, which we'll get into. You can see a sample of some of the lead follow-up here. It's a little bit more aggressive than you might personally be, but what we found is most salespeople give up after the third attempt to reach a lead. It actually takes between 6, 8, and sometimes 12 attempts to actually make a deal convert. So you might, there's some aspect here that we'll get into of, maybe I wouldn't say this, maybe I wouldn't follow up this many times, but we've seen these follow-up cadences get an average of 57% engagement across all time. And we've had over 5 million plus conversations. So we're constantly tweaking these. We're learning with the folks at Wise Agent, and we will constantly be tweaking Wise Agent specific scripts and drips as we go throughout this as well. But looking at some leads. So we took a slice of about 1.5 million leads. So get in your mindset, think about your leads that you have in your database that might fit these categories now. And these are applicable use cases for the bot today. We broke them down by kind of pay-per-click leads and portal leads. So we'll get to portal leads next, but pay-per-click leads are Facebook, Google, your website leads that you might be paying for. So these are kind of like your own generated leads in a way. We've broken them down by response rate, agent ready rate, which is a disposition that the AI has specific to Structurally and Wise Agent that says this is basically a qualified lead, a hand raiser. So that's when you'll be notified in certain situations that you have a hot and ready lead, basically. So that's what an agent ready lead is. And then even leads that have an appointment set. So 49% response rate on pay-per-click leads.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, and this pay-per-click leads, I mean, you're paying for these leads and only half of them, less than half of them are being responded to, which is, just basically just taking your money and just throwing it out the window. It's just, you're not getting anything from that. Yeah, a lot of money to throw away that way.
Yeah. And we see about a 12% agent ready rate. So those are people who are actually hand raisers. So those are pretty hot leads that you really want to take to the next step. And then 2% are actually scheduling an appointment. Compared to portal leads, the numbers are a bit higher. These leads are a little bit more expensive typically. That's what we see. They're a little further down the funnel. They're a little closer to close, but you pay for that. So 63% response rate, 37% agent ready rate, and 13% appointment rate. So you can, kind of think about this in terms of your pipeline. You want to really have a good mix of both. And in the Wise Agent and Structurally AI is great for both. It is a great opportunity to put towards both leads. And I'm excited to see the demo because you can, work through which lead sources, if I'm right, to send the leads to the AI on.
Absolutely. So you can do it like with all leads that come in, all internet leads that come into Wise Agent. You can set up the rules for a particular source that will be responded to in whatever manner you want. So a source that's coming in from maybe Zillow, you're going to set those up with like a buyer AI bots because most likely those are buyer leads. But then if it's coming in from your website or from maybe a Facebook ad that you've created out there and that that's a seller's ad, then you can set it up with a seller AI conversation. So that's really the flexibility that we've given out to all the agents. So then you can have that and really not just have like a generic conversation, but have a specific conversation for that lead that comes in.
Yeah, that's super important. So excited to see that in the demo. The last few stats that I'll share, I think that are really important are based on like time of day when a lead comes in. So that's kind of an overlooked benefit of this feature here. Sure, there's this whole concept I'm sure everyone's heard of called speed to lead. You're 21 times less likely to get in touch with a lead after 5 minutes of not responding to them. Products like Wise Agent have helped that with, autoresponders, campaigns that you can enroll. But what we're moving now towards as an industry is speed to response. So it's great that you got a message out at 3 a.m. when someone's looking, but if they say, yeah, sure, I want to go see the property tomorrow, and you leave them on red for 24 hours or more, they've gone to another agent. They're gone. So the huge aspect of this is being there, having a conversation with leads when they're looking on their terms. Might be 11 p.m. on a Saturday. That's when they registered. That's when they want to talk to you. So what we've seen based on a couple different brokerages that we analyze leads on, we saw about 53% come in during 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. and 46% come in overnight. And then on this one, it's even a little more aggressive during the day, but still a pretty high rate of leads that come in after 5 p.m. These are leads that might otherwise just not be responded to, not be engaged, and might go to your competition. And that's really where this product can help.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think, I mean, one of the things for me, you know, thinking about the AI bot, is we're in a society right now where we've already are living a life where we're just, you know, exposed to what we like and what we want to see anyways when we go to a site. So when we go on Facebook, on any social media, I mean, you're going to see those shoes that you were looking at the one store that you were on, right? So you're always being redirected and retargeted and everything else. So it really is, you're speaking directly to your consumers in a way that they, you know, you already know that they're looking to buy or sell. So there's no real way to, like, you don't have to sugarcoat it too much, because they're already looking to just be like, yeah, I want to be talked to, like, you already know what I want. They're expecting that. They're expecting you to know what they want and need, and then for you to provide that service or that product for them. So I know when some people have told me, oh, I'm a little nervous about this, and it's like, well, don't. I mean, the society that we're living in right now has already kind of pushed us into that type of lifestyle, which I think it is a kind of a consumer lifestyle that we're living in right now, where we expect, like, when I go on Amazon, I look to see, like, well, what other things are they suggesting for me, you know, based on what I like. I'm already anticipating that. Is there anything else I can spend money on, right? So this is the type of consumers that we are nowadays, and this just really helps amplify that, and really helps you get that going. So I'm gonna move forward with sharing our screens. And before I start doing that, though, I wanted to just let everyone know that we are recording this. We are also on Facebook Live. Everyone that's registered for the webinar, you will get the recording in your inbox after this has been completed. Your questions, you can ask questions either in the chat, and I see some of you are doing that. We do have a moderator that's answering those questions for us. And then we also have the Q&A section where you can ask any questions there as well. So we'll be looking at those. And then I also have the questions that everyone asked prior to coming on to the webinar. So I'm going to share my screen. Feel free to ask any questions. I'm going to share my desktop first to show you a little bit about Wise Agent and how that works, how the AI bot works in here. Let's see. So let me just go to actually our lead rules. So this is our dashboard here on Wise Agent. And I'm going to go to the lead rules and show you where and how you would start it off automatically. So you've got leads coming in from, you know, all over the place, your own website, you know, other sites, Facebook ads, your IDX site, your Zillow leads, realtor.com, wherever. And what you can do is really just automate whatever it is that you want to say in these and set up the rules as you see fit. I know one thing that I wanted to make clear is that this is all done through texting. The bot is, all the communication is done through texting. It's not done through email. So if you do want to add them to an email drip campaign, I think it's perfectly acceptable. Don't you agree, Nate, that would be, I mean, that's just like a nice bonus to, like, kind of have both, so they're always seeing your name.
Yeah, it's a great idea to play the text follow-up campaigns off of emails, and they don't overstep one another. They don't interfere with one another. And you can play them off one another and say, hey, my assistant might have texted you, but I wanted to shoot you an email here too.
Exactly. And so you can definitely add them to a drip campaign, you know, but just do make sure that it does not include any texting in it, because it could interfere with the bot's conversation. And then, of course, you can reply to them with an email, a video. Of course, video does always work too. I mean, you know, keep recording those videos and keep at that. But then here is the AI bot. So you can say, you know, yes, I want to start this. And then you can set what the target audience is. So are they a buyer? Are they a seller? Are they a renter? Or are they looking for a loan? So if there's any loan officers out there today, we've even got you covered. So, you know, and even if you were looking for tenants or renters. So the demo today that I started is for a seller lead, since we're kind of in a little bit of a seller's market here. So so that this is how you would set it up, is just really come in here and set up your rules from this point. I guess I should take a step back and go into the settings first and show you where you would get it from here. So you would come into the integration menu and add just your phone number, just add your add credits to it. And then you could even name your assistant. So you want to give it a name, because we've named this for this demo purpose, Camille. You want to give it a name. You want there to be that, like, it's not just like some robot. You want there to be this human likeness to it. And that makes a difference in the psychology of your responses, right?
Yeah,
So
we've seen a lot of our customers give it a name, and then they'll have leads say, hey, I wanted to talk to Camille, where's she at? Well, she doesn't really, she's out of the office, which is cool, because it's like, so human-like that they really wanted to talk to them. But we fully agree with you that you should really adopt it as a part of your team, like give it a persona. I've even seen some people put like a fake person on their website. I don't know if I'd go that far, but like really adopt it as a member of your team.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you do want there to be this human likeness to it, because the person on the other side is going to be having this real life conversation. And it's a lot easier to respond to somebody with a name than just like, I don't know, I got a text from, some phone number. You want to give it a name. And so
and there's a funny little hack actually in most iPhones where Siri, if you say, hey, this is Camille with brokerage 123, Siri actually sometimes looks for names like that and suggests that maybe Camille, if you've ever seen that before. So giving it a name, even if it's a new contact, Siri might suggest it as whatever name you put there, which I've actually found goes a lot further to being more likely to respond to.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, I've seen that done with my phone. I have an iPhone, and it'll give that suggestion. So if you write out, and even if you're not using the bot, this is a good thing, a good little side tip for any agents out there. If you're sending out text messages through your own personal phone, or through Wise Agent, or through the AI bot, putting up, personalized greeting like, hi, my name is, and then stating your name, because that suggestion will then come up, and that will make them like, oh yeah, I remember talking to a girl named Eleni. Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then they'll answer it, so that's how that would, what Nate is talking about would work. Mm-hmm. So with the AI bot, a couple of things that you need to know through Wise Agent. So, because I think I saw someone post the question about the cost and whatnot. So you would buy your AI bot credits through Wise Agent. You would do everything through Wise Agent. We do have a great integration with Structurally, and they're great partners of ours. And we're super excited to be doing this, our first webinar of many to come. But it would be done through us. And so we give some pricing discounts on here. And then you would also need to have the Wise Agent texting as well. So you would need to have the Wise Text enabled and have credits from that as well. So you would need to have these two add-on features that are nominal fees that will really help you elevate your business. So then once you get this set up and you've named your assistant, you've gone through your rules and you've said, okay, now I'm going to, set up the leads to get this AI bot automatically added to whatever buyer, seller, whatever it's going to be. I'm going to show you here. So I went in and I'm going to show you from this portion of it first, from the text.
While you're pulling that up too, one of the big benefits that I will say, again, pushing everyone towards Wise Agent, not Structurally, is if you go to Structurally directly and try and use Structurally and Wise Agent separately, we are going to buy you another separate local area code phone number. So you might have your personal phone number, your Wise Agent phone number and your Structurally phone number, all texting the same lead. With this partnership with Wise Agent, we cut out the Structurally phone number. So the AI text messages are actually coming from your Wise Agent number, which is a huge add to your workflow and to your leads, because they don't have a bunch of numbers coming at their way. They're much more happy with you. I'd please go to Wise Agent and sign up
Yes.
with them, not to Structurally.
Yeah, that thank you for clarifying that. Yes, and it would just be a lot easier. And what you can do is, if people from your contact list are already asking you questions like, how did if they reply to one of your text messages saying, that you've sent out, your initial text message to them can be, hey, I'm using this number for my texting purposes for my business. You can always call me on my personal number, but this is texting for business. And I've never heard a complaint or anything like that before. So the way you would just start the bot is really, really simple. Is you would need to have a cell phone number for them. And then it's just a simple little button here that you would select. And let me just go to, I can't think of anybody's name. Audrey Hepburn. Let me go to Audrey. I don't think she's been started on the bot before. She's not. So I have a mobile number for her. And so I would just click on this button and that would start the conversation with Audrey Hepburn. Okay, so it's just literally clicking start the AI bot right here. So and I've already done that. And you can see right here, it puts a time and date stamp on when I started the bot and what program that I started them on. So I started on a seller. And then you can see it here. It sent me a message. So this is actually going to my phone and saying, nice to meet you, Eleni. I'm Camille. I'd be glad to help you with your selling process. What's the address that you're selling? And then just let me know if I can help. And so now I can, I'm going to switch so I can share my phone and I'm going to reply. Let's see if it's going to work. There we go. I think. Okay. So I can be just as personal back and say, hi, Camille. I'm selling 123 Main Street. Okay. So then it'll go back and forth with this conversation. And so you can, they even use emojis, which I love because that's something that most people use nowadays. I mean, even when I typed in hi, that little suggestion came up for me to use that emoji. So really it's about getting this conversation started. And then this will just do its thing and run while you're just taking care of your transactions that you're already in escrow with or dealing with, building upon the conversations that you're already having with people that you know. And then this is building up trust and giving information so they can hand it over politely and seamlessly from the bot to you. So this is how it would work. And it's nice too that it's not like, it doesn't look like a bot where like 5 seconds after you've pressed send, it like sends you some canned response right back. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, let me look into it. So we'll wait and let this do its thing. Stop sharing this portion. And so that's a really nice, and I can keep sharing my screen so you guys can see on the Wise Agent desktop side. So you can also see that I'm getting this on my phone, but I'm also getting this in my Wise Agent account. So I can see all the details. I can see the conversation happening. So if I have a group of people, I've, several people on my team, I can see this happening right away. And I just, here we go. I just said, I'm selling 123 Main Street. And then here's the reply. So, and then there's a reply. Now I can go back and forth. So it's really nice that how it works where it doesn't have to just be for one person. You can use this even in a team environment and have several people on your team set up with the bot, so you can have your leads just all going through this. So any of your past leads that you kind of gave up on for whatever reason, you can start them up on this. So of course, the automated part, when they first come in, this is going to be really powerful. But then even those leads that you got 6 months ago, 8 months ago, a year ago, you can start them back up on this, and then kind of get that conversation going again. So I think that's a really powerful way of doing it. So I don't have time to read all of this. So if someone, Nate, maybe you want to tell me what to reply. I'm like, let us know what can help them.
Yeah, just say like, sure, let's, I'd be happy to meet and tomorrow afternoon or something.
Okay. And then I want to show you, I don't know if I can show it, because I know, like, just from the testing that we've done and conversations I've had with Nate, the bot will even do like intentional, like, spelling mistakes, like I almost did right there.
Yeah.
Writing out afternoon, it was like afternoon. So it does those intentional spelling mistakes to kind of prove that it is a person, right? Or trick to believing.
That happens a fixed percent of time in our conversations. I think it's less than 5%. So you might not see it in this conversation. You might, I don't know. It's random, but it will purposefully misspell like a tiny word like it'll spell it TEH, and then actually send a message right after and say asterisk THE. So it corrects it. We've seen that as a huge way to actually get better engagement, because like, oh, that's a human, I have to respond.
Yeah. I mean, that's the nice thing about it, is that it does take on that human likeness, especially then. So you have the name that it introduces itself with, and that can be customized. Like we just did Camille here at Wise Agent. That's the one we're using. You can name it whatever you want. So that's a nice flexibility. So if you have a Camille in your office, you don't have to use it. You can use whatever name you want. And then those spelling mistakes too, that shows that human interaction. So they can really get the sense that they're talking to a live person. That's always a nice added feature to it as well. I know there's been some questions about, how do you, are there going to be, are you able to clean up your database with this? So I think that's something that you definitely can do. Maybe not, I would never suggest to anybody to delete anybody out of their database. I will say, maybe remove their email address to a different field, so you don't inadvertently email them or call them if they don't want to be called. But cleaning up as far as like taking those old leads and then realizing like they already bought or they already sold, then you kind of weed out like those people that would probably waste your time, since they just bought or sold, and they're not probably looking for somebody to help them with that. So can help you with that for sure. Do you have anything else to add to that, Nate, about cleaning up?
That's a really great use case for this, because the AI picks up on all sorts of very specific things. If someone says, oh, I've already sold, oh, I've already purchased, it'll say, oh, congrats on the new home. I'll take you off my list for now. And then, you don't have to follow up with that lead yourself anymore, which is a huge value add. You'll also definitely get a lot of, screw you, leave me alone, never want to hear from you again, right, which is a part of the world of sales. And the benefit of getting maybe cussed out or screamed at is the AI can now do that for you, and you don't have to spend the emotional stress on it.
Yeah. And here we go. We got it. We got the spelling mistake. Yay.
That's like hitting the lottery almost. I think it is less than 5% of the time. So there you go.
Yeah. So, I mean, and this is great because, and then it also says, got it, I'll let my associate know. So now they already know, like, I already know I'm not going to be dealing with Camille. I'm going to be probably introduced to somebody else. They already have the information. I don't have to get them, but they're going to get a listing report ready. Again, and then there's that little spelling mistake. that will help with that. But then it also says, are you already committed to an agent? Again, trying to help weed out things that might, kind of pop up that you need to be prepared for.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So one other thing is, I think I've seen quite a few questions on customizing their message for themselves. So Nate, can you talk a little bit about that customization?
Yeah, so right now, customization isn't possible through Wise Agent. We are working with Wise Agent already as we speak to make custom Wise Agent scripts and drips. So drips are the long-term follow-up, basically, and scripts are the two-way conversation back and forth once they actually reply. So right now, not customizable, like specific to every user, but they're going to be very specific to Wise Agent and even specific scenarios. Like things we've talked about are recruiting use cases already. That will be a custom Wise Agent recruiting campaign, essentially. And we'll continue to build these scripts out together with Wise Agent based on everyone's feedback here. And we're constantly adjusting them. So like something that we've gone through too, and you might see some small relics is this like digital first world where, contact wasn't possible, like for the last year to some degree. And I know some of you don't want mentioned of that, and some of you do, and some of you have no choice of it because it's how your market operates. So we're trying to work on different parts of like aspects of that script. So like a COVID empathetic script versus a non-COVID empathetic script, or like even like a luxury buyer script versus a non-luxury buyer script, or even a more passive seller script or an aggressive seller script. So we're going to work on these scripts with Wise Agent, which you should start to see all these conversations kind of coming through in different ways.
Yeah, we're excited on that front, because that will be obviously more value to you all. You don't have to come up and think of all these things. There's a lot of thoughts and a lot of questions that go into creating these conversations to get them right and to get that right feel for it, and a lot of testing that goes into it. So we'll keep you posted on those. I do see a question here about what happens if somebody calls the phone number of the bot. And so what happens with that is that basically they'll just get a voicemail saying that this number can't be reached, and you'll also get, the agent, right, the realtor will get a notification saying that you had a missed call from that particular phone number, and you could just click on that. You'll get it as a text, and of course it'll be in your contact summary page for that person if they're in your account, and you'll just be able to click on that number and call them right back and say, hey, I got a missed call from this, and you can go from there. Another question is, what happens when they get a response of stop or please don't bother me? Is there a way to automate or change the status to move the lead to an opt-out or do not contact status? So if they do send a stop, that's already written in our code for, like you can't text them. So we do have to follow those laws. And those are laws actually. So
and a benefit of structurally for that is even if they don't say stop, even if they say like, I hate you, leave me alone. We listen for words like that, and we automatically mute those people. So we have this concept in the AI bot, which might be worth covering too, like how you take over the conversation.
Yeah.
But in those instances, like wrong number or leave me alone, we will self-mute. We'll say, oh, so sorry, I'll take you off my list, and then mute ourselves. The bot cannot respond anymore unless you manually unmute it yourself. So it might not set like the Wise Agent disposition status yet, but it will be, they'll be opted out pretty much on the AI end of things.
Yeah. And that's when you would be able to go in there and just, make sure that you put at the end of their phone number or something like do not text. And that's, you want to make sure that you do follow those rules for sure. I saw that there was somebody asking, are there is there a custom campaign for commercial? So I did write that down. And so I know we've been seeing a lot more on that. So we will, we'll add that to our list of things.
There is though, too. So
Okay.
if someone comes in as a buyer and they say, oh, I wasn't looking at a residential, I'm looking at commercial, our default scripts will switch over to commercial and it'll ask questions in a slightly different way.
Oh, nice. Look at that. So you already have it. So there you go. And I learned something new today too. I'm going to pop back in into my Wise Agent account here and just show you how you would, Nate used the word mute, and how you would mute or pause your AI. So if there is a handoff and you're getting those conversations where now it's time for you to take over. So you can just, with a click of a button, just click this and it'll say, is it okay to pause the AI bot? And you say yes. And so now that it's paused from the bot, and now you will take over, or pause from the bot and you're not taking over, you're just like, well, they don't want it anymore, whatever the case may be. But this is where then you would take over and you would start that conversation with them. But they would definitely be, that it's just as simple as clicking of a button. It's really that simple to do. And then we also do have it on our mobile. Let me see if I can shoot. How do I share my screen on that one? All these buttons I gotta press with one hand and the other. Okay, let me see. On Zoom.
I see one question too. Do they get notified? Do agents get notified when they get opted out, or if they opt out? I think answered that one similar to like structurally doesn't say like anything. We do move them to a not interested stage, but I don't think Wise Agent's doing anything with that yet. So hopefully it's kind of back of the mind.
Hold on. Yeah. Hold on, because that's my personal account. So let me, because I use Wise Agent for just personally too, and I even use the AI bot for personal things too. So hold on, let me get logged into the right account. I got logged out. Okay. But this, there is a way of getting the texting on your mobile device as well. There we go. So that I want to share this because I think this is important to see too. So you can go on the texting portion of it. And so somebody else is texting. And so you can see, I'm trying to think, how am I going to show you what I want to show you? Does this work? Are you seeing my mouse?
Yeah.
You can see, yeah, like the little red bot here means that that's stopped, the green one here. So you can definitely see what's been happening with this. And you can, I'm trying to click on it with my mouse on my desktop. So here where you can click on it here and go into that conversation and see everything that's happening. And I can see the timestamp that it stopped it on, and I can have, start it back up if I need to, or just text them myself. So if I want to keep it stopped, then I can just take over and now text them myself and say, hey, it sounds like you're ready for a meeting tomorrow at 1 or whatever time I said. And now we can just go ahead and do that. Now I can go even to their contact summary page and send them a calendar invite for this. So that's a great seamless way. That's one thing with Wise Agent that we keep trying to build out here, is making sure that everything is integrated with one another. So it's not just a standalone thing where it's just the AI bot and the texting, it's all integrated. So then once you get that appointment kind of set, then you can go in there and invite them to that. I'm looking at the questions here. Scott is saying, say hi to Brandon for me. Will do, Scott. Those are, I think that's a really powerful thing, is to have it all integrated with one another. So you can have that that seamless thing, and everything is just at your fingertips in your CRM where everything should be. So you can see the whole history of your relationship with this person that you're building up. So, so yes, I really like that part of it. Another question is, you know, once the feature is activated, someone's asking, do our outside team members need to request to activate the same feature? So as outside team members, that's a great question. You can have, because you can distribute these leads. And so if you get the lead into your personal account, and let me just take it a step back and explain what an outside team member is to everybody. So within Wise Agent, maybe I should share my screen again. Within Wise Agent, you can have a couple of different types of team members. So you can have your inside team members, like here's Rachel, Monica, Phoebe, Chandler, and Ross, right? And then you can have, let's say Joey as an outside team member. And Joey has his own Wise Agent account with his own username and password. He didn't want to be part of the team for whatever reason, right? And so you can distribute those leads and then send them and then start them on the bot and also, you know, distribute that out. The thing is that the leads would then be, the notes would still come back and forth to you, but you wouldn't see you wouldn't see that texting. So I would suggest that they would have to get their own, you know, credits for Structurally and start the AI bot themselves. You can theoretically do it, but then it would be like a third person that you're handing it off to. So it would be the bot and then whoever got the lead and then whoever the lead was distributed to. So I would say, let that third person like Joey set up his own bot. Hopefully that answered your question there. All right, and then someone is asking, slight issue with the misspelled words. I will not use someone who doesn't correct the spelling as I feel they aren't detailed enough. So I'm not sure what you're saying there, Scott, but I think the point is though that they do correct the spelling, so it's done intentionally.
To err is human,
Yeah.
is the old phrase, and we all make mistakes. And what I think people are starting to be okay with is, you know, real estate agents, they're just humans. They're just because you make a tiny little spelling mistake, which actually then gets corrected immediately after, doesn't mean you're less of a professional agent. It means you're more authentic, you're more relatable, you're more human. And that's really what people value more over almost robotic perfectness.
Right. Authenticity is always, I mean, I know sometimes I go back and listen to some of my webinars. I'm like, gosh, I said a million times or whatever it is. I mean, we're human. We make some of those errors and those mistakes. And I think that's what makes it more, you know, kind of attractive, is that you're like, oh, okay, they make mistakes just like I do. I know when I send a text message, half the time, you know, I can't even read what the heck I was writing, you know? So yeah, so I don't see it as being too big of a thing, but it doesn't happen in every conversation.
Very, very rarely. Yep.
Yeah. Another question was, can we use AI for home inspection business? And again, if that's something that I've not thought about before, so I kind of am going to make a note of that, because that would be really interesting to have a dialogue for that as well. And so I'm trying to read through everyone's questions here. There's a lot of questions coming in. So Nate, if you see one that you're like, oh, let's
yeah, someone, I think Sherry said, when we go in and text them ourselves as the agent, do they see us as a new person or still our assistant? So if you take over, it's still going to come from your Wise text phone number. We do like to recommend specifying that you are a different person and this is a business line, just like we said earlier. Like if people are confused why this isn't your personal phone number, you can jump in and say, hey, this is John taking over from my assistant, Camille. This is a shared business line, but I saw your entire conversation here in taking over. So we really do like to recommend best practice is treating it like an assistant and still taking your role as your own. It sets a nice kind of transition.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think it's always nice to just say, hey, this is, and then put in your name in there that you've taken over the conversation, or,
Yep.
And sometimes it might just even be, hey, can someone, can my, you can still continue to act like the assistant, like the bot, and say, can someone, can my associate give you a call?
We've seen
and
that really successful too. If you
Yeah.
want to take it a step further and say, hey, yeah, let's jump on a call here with Nate.
Yeah,
It works really
because
well.
I mean that as much as technology does help, and it does help quite a bit, it's substantial. I mean, what Nate was showing earlier, I mean, if you're buying leads and you're getting 10 leads in a day, I mean, that grows exponentially really fast. And if you're doing that over a long course of time, and you're a single agent, you're going to drown in leads, and you're not going to be able to respond to them because you don't have the time to build the relationships. You don't have time to put into it. And so when you leverage that technology, and then you still have to put that human touch into it. I mean, the bot's not going to go out and show them a house. We're not in the Jetson age just quite yet, but you still have to take that human connection and email them, do even a personal email. So you see that they're selling 123 Main Street, and it says they're coming up with a listing presentation, because you'll be able to see all the conversations happening live on your phone. You can go in and say, okay, well, mental note, add it to your task list, get a CMA prepared for 123 Main Street for this lead, and then go in, and I think I'm sharing my screen right now, right? Yeah, and I can come in here and just go to, who did I choose? Go in here and then just say, yeah, I'm gonna send them a CMA, and then just do that really quickly and set this up. And that's pretty much, I have to have an address in here. So I would have to put in an address, but you basically, I can do it on a different person. Put all of this in here and then send out that CMA, and that goes out automatically. So I'm leveraging all this technology, and I'm putting in very little effort, so you don't have to put in too much time or even too many resources in it. I'm just doing this all by myself and saying, send them this. And I'm just going to say, send it now. I don't know who this is going to go to, but I'll send it anyways. So there you go. It just went out. And so it really doesn't take much effort in this. All of this you could do from your mobile device while you're waiting to get your teeth cleaned or do whatever you're doing for your day, right? And waiting for your next showing to come in, or at an open house. So it doesn't take much effort. So leveraging your technology to help you keep up with your business in a way where it looks like you have a bigger team than what you really do, I think is a really smart way of doing business. So I know we're running low on time here, and there's a couple of more, I think I'm seeing a couple of questions here, but one of them keeps coming up too. Is this being recorded? Yes, this was recorded. So you're going to get this shared out to you at the end of this. We've got a few more minutes here, and I'll give Nate a moment to kind of end with a couple of different points here that he probably wants to make. But really, you'll go back and watch this. Call our support. We're here to help you guys and help you set it all up and explain it to you further. I know we've invited Nate to join us back next month. I believe it's October 6th, I want to say. I think it's October 6th.
Yep.
October 6th that he'll be with us on another live webinar with Camilla. And so I'm excited to have that, and answer or ask us any questions. We're here to help you. So
yeah, I'm excited to continue on the webinars here. I'm really excited to see this live and in the hands of everyone listening. I think just like we've talked about here, it's going to make your life much more streamlined, and it doesn't necessarily serve to replace you, your ISAs, any work that you still need to do to close houses. It just takes care of the mundane tasks that you really don't like doing, like following up with leads, like getting rejected occasionally, like going back and forth a million times to qualify a lead. That's what it takes care of for you. So kind of just trust the process, work towards moving it into your workflow. And that's what this webinar series, I think, with myself is going to be about, leveraging AI throughout the CRM. And we'll be excited to continue to share new ideas, scripts, campaigns, hear your feedback on messaging, and iterate progressively with you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, we're excited too. We're excited to be partnering with you guys at Structurally. I think it's great, and hearing everyone's feedback. I mean, the home inspection, even the commercial, I didn't even know that was a thing. So, all of that feedback is really great. We're looking forward to it, and looking forward to getting everyone that wants to start on the spot and try it out, because you can try it out with very few credits and see how it works for you. I just highly suggest that. Try it out with a couple of people. You don't have to do your whole entire database. You don't even have to do all of your leads. We make it really flexible for you, but I would say at least try it and see how it works for you, and see how it could take some things off of your plate. It's always, especially if you're that person that's like, I don't really like qualifying leads. I don't like talking to complete strangers. I want to know them a little bit better. Well, this is your solution. This is how you get that. And just always, for me at least, I always give those tasks away that I'm not good at, or I don't like doing. I give those to somebody else. Why put that added pressure on yourself? And so this is a way of doing that for those tasks that maybe you're not comfortable with or not enjoying doing. So thank you so much, Nate, for being here and sharing your wisdom with us. Next week, so you guys are going to see me quite a bit this month. I've got 2 more webinars this month. So next week on the 16th at 10 a.m., Jonathan and Christoph from Land Voice are going to be joining me, and we're going to be talking about listings and how to get more listings from using Land Voice services. And then the week after that, on the 21st, I'll be joined by Julie Tate, who is a team lead with HomeSmart here in the Valley Home Solutions. And we're going to be talking about using Wise Agent and her CRM for managing her team. I think she has a team of like 90, almost 100 agents. So we're going to be talking about that. So I'm excited for that. I've got very little travel this month, so that's why I'm doing a few more. And then next month, I'll be back on the road. So go to our events page and see where I'm going to be at, and stop by and say hi to me. So thanks so much, Nate, for being here again.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on. And I guess it sounds like we'll see you on the 19th, October 19th again. October
19th. Thank you, Sarah, for correcting that. I'm always, don't tell me a date because I'll forget it. So, so awesome. And then I will see everybody else next week. Thank you so much for joining. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Thanks.